Alright, so last night was an epic night if you're a Corvette fan. Today I'm going to be taking the C5 to work. It did rain last night, so she is a little wet. But let's go talk about the C8. Alright, now if you're new to the channel, my name is Dave. I drive a 2004 C5 Corvette. My whole channel is pretty much based around my C5, so if you're interested in some C5 content, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And also, before this video is over, please consider giving me a thumbs up on this. Now, if you're into Corvettes or a car guy, last night was a very epic night. The C8 was finally revealed to the public. No more questions needed to be asked, no more speculations, no more rumors. The car is what the car is, and it is a game changer for sure. As everybody knew going into it, it was going to be a mid-engine Corvette, so no more the front engine configuration. During the whole presentation, you know, they mentioned that the front end, that the front engine configuration was reaching its maximum potential, and that they wouldn't be able to get any more out of it. So that's why they switched over to the mid-engine format. And there's many purists out there that consider a mid-engine Corvette not really a Corvette. But at the same time, the Corvette's been GM's performance flagship. I mean, arguably since the beginning, since the very beginning. So why would you want to name this car something other than a Corvette? I mean, if you did that, you would just be taking away from, I believe you'd be taking away from the name of a Corvette. Because now people would be over, not everybody would be overlooking it, but it wouldn't be your performance flagship anymore. I'll get into some of the specs that they mentioned at the reveal, but I mean, just out of the box, base model, it's nuts. It's nuts. All right, now before we get into performance that they mentioned during the reveal, of course, there were other things that they brought up that I thought were pretty cool and, definitely game-changing, along with just the raw performance of the car. So they are bringing in the front end lift that is in a few other exotic cars, but the one thing that's separating this from other front end lifts is if you always use it to get in your driveway, or you're always using it to go on your normal commute, which is over maybe some speed bumps or something, you can save that location into the GPS, so every time you come up to it, you don't have to hit the front end lift button. It'll automatically lift up for you, and it'll lift up 2 inches. And hey, we all wish we had 2 extra inches. Now, the car that they brought out onto the stage was a base model with the C51 package. So definitely, a higher trim package than what the actual base is going to be. Later on, they did roll out they rolled out the red one first, but then they brought out a white and a blue one. Obviously, red, white, and blue. It looked like the white one was a little bit more of a base model because it did not have the rear spoiler on it. But I mean, overall, I think the car looks killer. The exterior, I mean, everyone's gonna have their opinion on the looks of the car. Me personally, I think it looks killer. I love everything about it. One thing that makes the car so much more practical than other mid-engine cars, and they've definitely kept the practicality of the Corvette, because I mean, in this, with the front engine and the C5, I have all this space behind me. People don't realize how much space and how many things you can put back there. So obviously, since the new car, the engine is behind you, now you have a frunk, or a trunk that's up front, but they kept the target top intact, and they put a little bit of a space. It's not a little, they say you can fit 2 golf bags in the back of the car, where you could store your target top and obviously store whatever luggage and stuff like that you need. So if it's 2 golf bags in the back and however much space in the front, I think that was just ingenious. It definitely kept the practicality of the car. So then they also brought up that they're going to have 12 exterior colors, which is the most exterior colors that they've ever made available at one time. Now, you saw that I have a yellow C5. I saw that their yellow is called Accelerate Yellow Metallic, I believe is the name of it. It looks awesome. It's a little bit more of like a highlighter yellow. I mean, at least that's what it looked like on the computer screen. Who knows what it's going to look like actually in person, because the colors don't really match up to what from the computer to real life. I know yellow's not for everybody. And then going into some other options, they're offering 6 interior color options, and then also you can get contrast stitching in either red or yellow. So of course, you know, if you're getting a yellow car, you may want to get yellow stitching. I mean, it's not over the top, it's just stitching. So I think it definitely accents everything a little bit nicer. They're offering 3 seat types, a GT1, GT2, and then a competition seat. So however you want to use your car, you know, they're going to offer a seat that fits you best. The seats in a C5 are not the greatest. They're, I mean, decent GT seat, but not any type of track seat, competition seat, definitely not. Alright, now into the good things. When they announced that they were keeping the naturally aspirated V8, the only mid-engine car in, you know, to have that, and they were going to keep that, there's a huge roar from the crowd. Everybody was clapping, going crazy about it. So the performance numbers with that car, they said that it was with a performance exhaust. So maybe, like, you know, I'm assuming probably the performance exhaust will be an option, just like it's been for the last few years. So with that performance exhaust, it was rated at 495 horsepower, 470 foot-pounds of torque. That is insane. That's what, like 30 or 35 horsepower more than the base C7. Now, one performance number that they mentioned that blew everybody's mind, including mine, is that for a base Corvette, we're not talking Z06 or ZR1, but a base Corvette, 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. That is just mind-blowing. I can only imagine what's going to happen when they do introduce the Z06 or maybe down the road a ZR1. There is no mention of that yet, but then at the end of the video they did show a teaser of definitely a more track focused Corvette. I don't know, probably a Z06. I don't think they would release a ZR1 so close. They'd probably do what they did for the C7. You know, they brought out the base Corvette, and then a year or two later, I think it was 2 years later, I forget, they brought out the Z06, and then just not until recently they brought out the ZR1. So more than likely it's probably gonna be a Z06 package, but that looked killer. It had the big wing on it. I'm assuming bigger tires, bigger brakes, bigger, just better. So that was a little teaser that they left at the end of that reveal. And then obviously the big number. How much was this thing going to cost? Everybody was putting speculations out there on what they thought the car would cost. Now I didn't put it out there like on YouTube or in the public on what I thought the car would cost, but the price they announced is definitely lower than even I expected. They said base model starting under $60,000. $60K for a mid-engine sports car, 495 horsepower, 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. Let that sink in. That is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Like, I don't know, it defies logic on how GM could do that. They could easily charge another 10, 15 grand, 20 grand for this car, and people will probably still buy it. So, you know, I like that, you know, they did mention Corvette's always been that, you know, that attainable sports car, and they've held true to their roots, at least on that. Yeah, they got rid of the front engine, but they stayed true to their roots, that it's going to be an affordable sports car, and they knocked it out of the park. They really did. Now, of course, like I was mentioning, they showed the Z51 that was on stage. Now, that's going to be a trim package, obviously up, you know, higher than the base. So they did not release full pricing on everything. They just said that the base model was going to start at under 60. So, you know, I don't know what that Z51 would be, maybe what, 80? I don't even know, but I'm sure that's going to be released in the next few weeks. But still, base model, 0 to 60, under 3 seconds for under 60K. That's crazy. Now, one other big thing during the reveal was the transmission. A lot of people were saying the manual's dead, and as of right now, it looks like it is. They're going to put in a 8-speed dual clutch transmission. So obviously, you know, dual clutches are world renowned for how fast they shift. So finally, a Corvette is going to have, you know, at least the automatic is going to have a proper transmission for the performance that it has, and it's just going to light everything up. So again, going back to that whole like under 60 grand, like that's nuts. Dual clutch and everything I just mentioned for under 60 grand. That's crazy. All right, and then a few things that they didn't bring up during the reveal was different body options. Like, you know, right now you have the obviously the coupe and the convertible, and you've had the convertible forever. They did not mention anything about a convertible, a Spider, anything like that. They didn't show one. They didn't tease one. So I don't know if they're gonna have a convertible or not. I don't see why they wouldn't, but I don't know. I mean, they just didn't mention it. So I'm wondering if they are going to have a convertible at some point. But hey, you know what? The C8 is definitely a shot for the moon by GM. I think this car is, it already is, you know, a world-renowned car, and this is just elevating it even higher. So I'm excited for what the mid-engine Corvette brings. Like I said, I think it's still a Corvette. I don't think they should have named this thing anything different besides a Corvette. And I'm just excited for the future of Corvette. So let me know down in the comments below what your favorite feature of the car is. Was it something that I mentioned? Was it something that I left out? You know, I didn't like delve into like all the specs on the car. I know you can go on GM's or Chevy's website, or somebody's website, I'm assuming Chevy's website, and you can begin to build your Corvette. Maybe I'll do that, you know, like over the weekend or something like that. But you can start to spec out your Corvette. You can put deposits down. You can do all that stuff. But yeah, this C8, man, it's a game changer for sure, and I can't wait to see one. Hopefully I get to go to Quebec, not this weekend, but it's next weekend. I forget the date, maybe the 26th, 27th, whatever that Saturday is. Actually, I think it's be Friday and Saturday. They're having like an open house, and supposedly a C8 is going to be there. I want to go. I want to see this thing in person. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Thank you, and have a great day.